What up, some guys here now? How happy am I that Asmon shouted you out? Was it really shouted me out, or was it like shouted me down? But I mean, I'm happy with the results. You know, the most likely event was that he just ignored it. That was kind of what I was expecting. That it was just he would just ignore my message. But you know, next best thing, or you know, really the best option, best outcome is he gave me attention. He gave an attention seeker attention. Yeah, exactly. I got what I wanted. I got what I was angling for. I put bait out and it fell, you know, hook, line, and sinker. Wait, was that you, Neko? Yeah, that was me. What? After the Kairu raid? Yeah. What other level 1 Neko is there? Huh? The one and only. Level 1. That's hilarious, yeah. That's hilarious. Asmon is such an NPC. Sadly, yeah, you know. I was hoping for better from him. But he lived up to all the negative impressions people said about him, you know? Unfortunate. Unfortunate and sad. But it is what it is. So this is gonna be him responding because he was just reacting to anyone in chat, really. Alright, so here's my little couple minutes of fame, okay?
This was like four years ago, right? It was quite a while ago.
Okay, so you see him pull me up and he looks at the... If you notice, the comment initially is struck out with a line, struck out. Because I typed my first message. So I followed the stream because it was followers only. And then in order to put my first message out, you had to be following for more than 10 minutes. So I had to wait for the 10 minutes to be up. So I had pre-typed my message. And I was waiting for the 10 minutes to be up. And then the second 10 minutes are up, I put the message in. But then it's like, your message is too long. So I'm like, oh, great. I was just listening to him complain about people saying, oh, you can't be vague posting. If you're vague posting, I'm going to delete your comment, or I'm gonna ban you if you're vague posting. So I'm like, okay, so he doesn't want vague. He wants detailed. So all right, I'll give him a detailed answer. I'll be specific. But then it's like, oh no, you're giving too much. Now it's too much of a comment. So too little, not gonna work. Too much, not gonna work. He wants exactly a fucking Goldilocks comment, apparently. So you not only have to be following, you have to be following for more than 10 minutes. It needs a Goldilocks length comment. And then he just doesn't care anyway. So, but basically I said, I don't care what the Iranians want. I don't care if the Iranians want to be liberated. I care about Americans dying for this. You know, you should have Fuentes on because you mentioned liking Fuentes and agreeing 99% with what Fuentes says. So I'm like, okay, that's someone who you agree with on 99% of things. What better person? What better person to have on to maybe present to you the other side, and maybe you'll listen to them. Maybe you'll listen to somebody you agree with on 99% of things. And then there was a little bit of, okay, here's where I was being a little aggro. Here's where I was baiting a little bit. I'm baiting for attention. I said, you won't because you're scared you can't defend yourself against this take. Have Fuentes on. You know he'll BTFO your argument. So, so here's how I respond to that.
What is this? You yourself literally disagreed. You state that 30K protesters changed your mind, but I don't care but what is this here?
Also, he fucked up because he was reading it, then he accidentally well, I guess he was reading it, then it dipped down, so he didn't read the full comment.
Have Fuentes on your show you the anti-war argument you won't have because you can't counter his argument. You're afraid of him. Anything about not doing it is cope. Well, yeah, I don't like talking to or debating with anyone. And here's the other big reason why I... Okay,
so number one reason, he doesn't like talking or debating with anyone, which is fair, you know. Not everyone likes debating. But if you're gonna be so smug and so like, I know everything, but you're like, I won't debate though. I won't debate. I will not have anyone question my opinions. The streamer knows the guy in the box is at a dis. Yeah, absolutely. His whole thing is he's smug and he's like, you have to dance to my whim. And if you dance just right in exactly the right way, I might look in your direction. I might look in your direction. I might give you some attention. How are you going to back that up, right? Wait, it's very hard to engage in a debate with from the box with a guy replying on his microphone. Exactly. How are you gonna back that up? I like to opine, but I don't want it challenged. Basically, yeah.
don't start or I don't create drama with people like Nick Fuentes or really with Sneeko even, right? Is because I generally agree with Nick on things. Why would I want to create an adversary and an enemy out of somebody who I'm aligned with on like 10 other things? Why would I do that? Why wouldn't I focus on people and focus on talking about people that I view as actual enemies?
Because you're not going to listen to them challenging your ideas. You're going to listen to someone who you agree with. If it's someone you agree with on 99% of things, you might listen to them if they challenge your ideas. If it's someone that you view as the left, you're not going to listen to them for a second.
I don't view Nick as an enemy. I don't think Nick's an enemy. So why would I want to attack? Why would I want to attack him? Why would I want to criticize him? It doesn't even make sense.
And I got to add some extra comments in here. Let's see.
Like it's not in my best interest to do that.
Well, okay. Well, right there he says it's not in my best interest. What does he mean by this? So he does know. He does know if he talks to someone such as Sneeko, Myron, or Fuentes, that it's not his best interest because, well, I guess he's gonna frame it as, well, I'm fighting with friends. It's not my best interest to fight with friends. But more so, I think what it really is here is he can't defend his points. He can't defend his arguments. Welcome to the political debate side of content creation. The total train wreck? True. Very true. Balls.
Does that make sense to you?
And then he clicks, he refreshed it. So then I said, you won't look at why he disagrees with you? Why not? It's rather important.
Why not? It's rather important. Well, I just explained why.
Because you want to
understand the opposing argument? No, not really.
So right there, he just outright admits he doesn't care about the opposing argument. He's right. He knows everything. He doesn't care what the opposing argument is, even from someone he agrees 99% with. He's not the least bit curious. He's not the least bit curious. Hey, here's someone that I think is great. Here's someone that I think is an ally. Here's someone I agree with 99% of things. But they are diametrically opposed to my opinion on this war. And yet he's not the least bit curious on why. He's not the least bit curious on what could possibly be their reasoning. He's not doing his due diligence. He's not like using his brain. He doesn't care. You should at least be curious. If you are the groundbreaking intellectual, fucking, I don't know. If you're the groundbreaking intellectual influencer on the right, you should at least be intrigued by what an ally has, as a differing opinion. You would think.
It's not that important to me about doing it. That's the truth. I mean, there's 50 other problems in the world too. Iran is one problem. I think that you're missing out on the messaging. So I
think you're missing out on the messaging. You're not taking in the propaganda. You need to take in the trademark, the message. You're not taking in. I don't think you're taking in the messaging. You got to be better. Look, everyone else here has fallen in line. They're taking in the messaging. Why aren't you?
Obviously, that's the reason why, and you guys have probably noticed this at this point. Any of the right-wing people that are anti-Iran war, I haven't talked about them at all.
Yeah, why is that?
I haven't talked about because Rupert Lowe has been against it. Myron has been against.
So now he's going to list many different people who he's aware of, who are right-wing, who disagree with him on the Iran war, and who he's not going to talk about, who he's not going to talk to. Because he's stubbornly stuck on his opinion and won't change it.
Sneeko's been against it. I talked about him because he talked about me specifically. Nick has been against it. Let's see, who else besides that? Tucker Carlson's been against it. I guess I talked about him a little bit. Let's see, Megyn Kelly was against it. Never talked about her. I don't talk about any of these people. And the reason why I don't talk about any of them is that I view these people as ideological allies. So I don't.
That's more reason to talk to them. I don't talk to them because they are ideological allies. What? You have an ideological ally who strongly differs from you on one issue, one very important issue, one that you seem to feel strongly about. But, hey, no, I don't talk to them specifically because they're ideological allies. Excuse me?
don't look at trying to criticize and complain about people that I view are mostly on my side. I focus on people that I think are directly oppositional. They might have a good argument for it, and they might have a reasoned, principled argument that I might disagree with, but at the same time, I don't view them as problematic. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully
that makes sense, ban. It's like, does he actually care if that makes sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Clicks the ban button. Hell, yeah, I guess is a little bit of an L, sure.
12 minutes ago, you're complaining about it. I think you should at least...
You followed 12 minutes ago, you're complaining about it, yeah.
Fuentes on it, something unrelated? Okay, so, wait a minute. So you're just trying to gaslight me into having Nick on stream?
Now he pretends like, because I added this at the end, because I knew my time was up, I knew he was going to ban me soon, because I saw him do it to several other people. Because I added this at the end, now he pretends like this was my plan all along. No, you actually don't care about Iran war. No, your entire plan was just to get me to have Fuentes on. No, bro. No, bro. I added that at the end because I knew you were right about the ban me.
Listen. Here's the way I see things playing out, all right?
Yeah, I thought I was closing it. Like, I'm glad you're supportive of them. Basically, like, hey, I'm glad you're supportive of them. But I do think you should at least have Fuentes on for something unrelated. It'd be a cool stream. You know, I thought I was being diplomatic. He's trying to be diplomatic, you think? Assman trying to save face? Maybe.
Okay, so, wait a minute. So you're just trying to gaslight me into having Nick on stream?
Oh, so you think, like, what part of that was gaslighting?
Listen. Here's the way I see things playing out, all right?
I'm listening.
I think that if we consolidate, like...
I remember this. He goes on to basically say, hey, if we can get Vance in office, it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine. If we get Vance in office, everything will work itself out.
I think that if we have another Republican president, I think that it's going to be all over. I do. I think it's gonna be all over, bro. Like, you are gonna have the entire fucking, like, you're gonna have the migrants getting deported. Like, that at that
Trump
point, it is going to be basically, you know, a continual thing. So, people unite will never be defeated. Yes, of course.
Why didn't Trump do it?
And so, hopefully, that's what'll happen. How much do you have to disagree with someone to have a debate with them? I don't know. It just depends. Depends on whatever I feel like, right? I don't really, I don't have, like, a, you know, a list of you know, talking points in my head. I'm just thinking about it in general. So yeah, to me, I don't really focus or get that upset about people that disagree with me whenever I feel like they're ideologically on my side anyway.
Well, he doesn't engage them at all. I don't get upset with people who are ideological allies if they disagree with me, because you don't fucking engage whatsoever in it. Yeah, what's there to get upset if you just completely ignore it?
Because you're always going to have disagreements with people. That's not a big deal. But the problem mainly is whenever you have it from people that are just total outsiders and people that are trying to force their ideology on somebody else. That's the reason why. You're explaining how Sneeko is an ally at this point? I don't know. He agrees with me on other things too. Like, I don't view, like, is Sneeko...
I think of all people, if it's someone you disagree with, and they're fucking polar opposites to you, no shit, you're not going to agree with them. If it's someone you disagree with because they're fucking crazy left-wing, like, I don't know, a crazy left-wing nut job, yeah, no shit, they're going to disagree with you. The one you should probably care when they disagree with you is someone that's 99% aligned with you. When someone who's 99% aligned with your ideals strongly disagrees with you on a topic, that's when you should care. That's when you should say, oh, what am I not seeing? How do I see, like, what, maybe if I look at their perspective, maybe there's something I'm missing. Yet that's exactly when he says, that's when I need to ignore them. I need to ignore the people who I'd agree with, who might convince me that I'm wrong. I need to focus on the people who will never convince me I'm wrong. The people who are polar opposites to me. That's a very strange mentality. I don't get it. That's a W, Neko. Thank you. You exposed Asmon as a midwit, to be honest. People should have known that already, though. I would agree. That's the problem, and people will cope and act like this never happened. True. Anyway. Yeah, so that was what happened. It was pretty cool. You know, all things considered, you know, hey, all things considered, I don't hate Asmon. I do think he's very wrong on this topic. And hey, you know, if he wants to have me on, I'll be free to, I'll totally discuss it more. He won't though. He won't, because he's scared. He's scared of Neko. Exactly.